back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, also as well, our good friends, including John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Hopefully he'll join us tonight. Also as well, the Lakerholics crew. Go ahead and check them out every weekend, well, almost every weekend, right here on the Lakers Fast Break. But check them out where they live in their domain, Lakerholics.com. Empire Jeff TV, big shout out to him, covering the Lakers and Dodgers. And of course, our good friend, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo, go ahead and follow all these great people, including also as well Stone Hansen on Twitter and also Blue Sky, Alfred Esmond on Twitter, and Legend I Got Next Sports Media. Go ahead. All these great people, all these great places, all these great channels. Please support Lakers Live with Zach as well. Give him a big shout out. I know that YouTube and Facebook have been giving him trouble just like they've been giving me trouble. So go ahead and support him there as well. But go ahead while I'm still up and about and have a channel, because I already got one strike against me. Go ahead and like and subscribe while you can. Plus, also become a member today for just $2.99 a month. We give you inside info, also as well videos ahead of time, also as well articles every now and then. And go ahead and also you get emojis, badges, and so much more. So go ahead and check it out today and become a part of the Lakers Fast Break community. Raphael gave out some free memberships the other day. I'm so indebted to you. So great to have all this great support, great community. It is such a great feeling indeed. And before Joe comes and ruin it, I just want to thank you for being a part of what we do right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast, or whenever these guys decide to come. I kind of sent them the email, so who knows? But again, it is of course the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers came in tonight riding high, being in second place in the Western Conference with LeBron James just 1 point away from 50,000 combined points in the regular season and the playoffs. The only individual to ever approach that status. Would that happen? Of course it would. You know him and his penchant for always getting into double digits, and he did that and then some today. Not only did he just wipe that away and go well over the 50,000 point mark with a three-pointer, he dusted that off as far as the New Orleans Pelicans today and Zion Williamson, who actually didn't do a bad job himself. But it was the Lakers today. And I'm going to make a point that Joe was saying. It's interesting, on a day where Zion gets 37, LeBron James is the key. 10 of 18 today, 5 of 10 from 3, 34, 8 and 6. On a day where he hits over 50,000 points. That's a 40-year-old guy, 40-year-old guy doing that kind of stuff. And we just glossed over the fact that Luka Doncic himself was 6 of 13 from 3, 9 and 19 overall, 30 points and 15 assists. Oh, by the way, Jackson Hayes of 8 and 8, 8 slam dunks, and 8 slam dunks, 19 and 10 for him. Bench came off really, really good. Great hustle today and effort from Vanderbilt, who actually hit some threes today. And if he can keep on doing that, God bless him. 12 points and 8 rebounds for him and 2 block shots. Shake Milton had a really good shooting day. And, there was no Jordan Goodwin and no Austin Reeves and no Rui Hachimura. So he filled in admirably off the bench with 12 points and a plus 30. Second on the team to Luka Doncic's plus 37. And Dalton Connect, Mr. Garbage Time himself. You know he always does well there. But before it went into garbage time, he gave us some really good points and hustle on the fast break. And he got himself 13 points as well. And the Lakers, in that second half, cruised to an easy victory, 136 to 115. And here today to go ahead and discuss, hopefully here in just a few minutes, are the great guys indeed. Of course, Sean Grice, John Costa, Joe Soro. I think I'm trying again. I sent the email out again. So these guys should be coming up here in a second. So yes, Spartan Blake, our team is not even playing well, but they're destroying teams with minimal effort. Well, that's what you need to do. especially after I think JJ must have put in their heads and reminded them what happened recently in Utah and then what recently happened right after the All-Star break against Charlotte, playing down to the competition like they were doing in the first half and keeping things too close for comfort. But again, the Lakers did find themselves in that second half. They got their second win, and LeBron and Luka, the dynamic duo, as I called them on the previous thumbnail that you guys got a chance to see from our last post game, they did the trick. And I'll tell you what, they're doing good right now as the Lakers do win 136 to 115. No Joker says, gee, how bad is Austin's injury? Well, he was listed at one time doubtful, I think doubtful or questionable, but he was downgraded to out. So I have a feeling if it was like a marquee playoff game or NBA Finals game, he would have played. So I think he's close to coming back. We'll see against the New York Knicks. So definitely looking forward to seeing what everybody's going to go ahead and talk about here on today's show in just a few minutes. Hopefully we can join us then. But again, thank you so much for joining us. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for being here. Cloud9 yet? No, Chris. No. When they win the NBA Finals, that's when you should be on Cloud9. This team has won 17, count them, 17 world championships. That's 17 times we as fans have been on Cloud9. The only time that comes close, really, was the Luka trade. That was come close for us. That was euphoria. That was fantastic. That put us. But I'll tell you what, Cloud9 for us is all about the titles. You know this channel by now, Chris. So for us, it's all about titles. And here today to go ahead and discuss today's victory. Easy, comfortable, running away with it. Victory is a good man indeed. He is, of course, the man behind Ox 9247 on the you might want to get a pop filter. I think Raphael suggested a pop filter, so you might want to try that if you can ever get one. Just because your highs sometimes as you get close.
Pop
to the
these
mic.
nuts. How about that?
Well, okay. That was a suggestion by Raphael, and I thought it was a good one, so I thought that passed along. But it is, of course, Mr. Simblades himself, Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. Get his game anyways, even though he ran me down and after I tried to give him a good suggestion again for his game. Corrupt, Coreupt on Steam. Really good game as far as that second half is concerned for the Lakers. They put it all together and they are doing exactly what teams that are second place in the Western Conference need to be doing.
Oh, they're doing more than that. This is championship favorite from the beginning of the year stuff. Mm-hmm. And Luka is a marvel. He's an absolute marvel. And LeBron James is an absolute icon squared. I have not seen a game like this in terms of how quiet it was and how unbelievably effective it was. And it just does everything. It's really not just Luka and LeBron. They're the two studs. They're the two pillars. But the coaching, the atmosphere, the role players who weren't role players a month ago, all of a sudden are becoming a benefit. You don't even have technically your third and fourth best players on this team. They haven't missed a beat. Talk about next man up. Usually that's a football thing or baseball thing. You don't really see that in basketball too much, but these guys have picked up the slack for Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. If Jared Vanderbilt's going to start hitting that corner three, you might as well just pack up your bags. I mean, seriously, like you have no shot now. You have no shot. Vando is everywhere.
I was just going to say, Chris was asking, what players have you the most impressed right now, Joe?
Well, I gotta still say LeBron. I'll put it like, let's say the three players right now that have impressed me recently is definitely LeBron James. I know that sounds kind of redundant, but it's not. His efficiency tonight was what was just amazing. He looked like he was. I mean, when you watch somebody, and it was Luka too. You're watching LeBron James, and the reason why it's made a little bit more amazing with LeBron is this is his 22nd season. He played 33 minutes, Gerald, and dropped 34 points with only 18 shots. I mean, there was a minute there I think he hit 30 with like only 14 shots. As efficient as you can be, he was 9 for 9 from the line. Still got 8 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, it's just unreal. And the plus minus for Luka, by the way, it was a 37, guys.
Just think if he was like 80% from the line today, Luka was.
And who
had like 35.
Yes, and guess who was second in the plus minus category? Mr. Looking at my hand. 30. He was a plus 30. Shake was a plus 30. I'm in amazement. So LeBron and his feats right now, every game it seems like he just keeps saying, "Oh no, I'm not done. I'm not done." Vanderbilt has improved his shot. He was a plus 27 tonight and hit 2 threes. If he hits 2 threes a game, man, it's lights out. And a lot of his statistics don't show in the box score. His stuff is getting in there, slithering around, causing problems. Just unbelievable. And then I'd say, I mean, you cannot forget Jackson Hayes. I mean,
8 for 8.
This team, the way it's constructed right now, is going to allow Jackson Hayes to have a longer career and a lot more money than what he's been making. And it's not just, he's got Luka and he's, get run into the basket when he's open. This is not that, guys. If you watch what he does when he's not doing what he is normally good at, which is to pick and roll, he is creating havoc on defense. He's making guys think about block shots. He's getting after rebounds. What did Shaq used to say, G? Feed the beast and the beast, feed the dog and the dog will protect the house. That's what you do to the bigs, folks. You feed the bigs, they'll protect the house, and Jackson Hayes is getting fed and fed very well, and he's protecting the house. So I'm just so giddy right now, guys. I've been giddy for a while now, and it just keeps getting more giddier, if that's a word. I'm just amazed. I want more. I want more, and please God keep these guys healthy because, oh man, I just can't wait till the playoffs. I just can't wait for the playoffs.
Bruce Brown he looks like he's playing out the string. Him, Kelly Olynyk, Nick T's favorite guy. They just like they're just playing out the string on a losing team, cashing in whatever dollars that they have left on their contracts. Although Kelly Olynyk, I think, has another year on his contract, but Bruce Brown, Joe, he is not the same player that he once was. I know Empire Jeff was talking about how he wanted him on the team the other day, and because he's that dog and all that stuff, but he looks like a dog right now for New Orleans, and it's at the end of his contract when you need to be the best player you could be so you can get another one right behind it, Joe.
Well, in defense of those who wanted Bruce Brown, I'm gonna say it's very likely that if Bruce Brown was on this team, he would be a lot more effective and a lot more valuable. That happens. Look at Jackson Hayes. If Jackson Hayes was playing for his former team,
if he's still on the Pelicans, he probably, you're right.
He wouldn't be as valuable as he's been here the last few months. Emotion and will and want play a huge factor in basketball, especially in the NBA. When you are in an environment where you can perform a little bit more because of the need, or maybe there's extensions on the team like LeBron, like Luka, whom can make you much better than you are, then you're likely going to perform better. It's something we've discussed so many times in our lives watching basketball. Does this player make everyone better? Does this player a detriment to team basketball? And a lot of those questions go both ways. There's been great players that haven't made their teammates better, and then you've had okay players that have made their teams better. And then you have really, really great players who really, really make their teammates better. And that's what the Lakers are. The Lakers have two guys that can do that. And I don't know what it is. When I see LeBron play 33 minutes in a game like this, and he is as effective as he is, it's almost cheating. You're telling me LeBron sat 15 minutes? And by the way, that first stint where he sat, Luka absolutely ran a freaking marathon around everybody in New Orleans. Absolutely was shredding them. And I can only imagine what LeBron is thinking on the bench. I have a pretty good feeling we probably do know. And that's, you going to let me sit? You guys are going to let me sit? If I'm going to sit for a quarter and a half a game, you're toast. You are toast, and you'll have no chance to beat this team. It is crazy to say that, but I would need somebody to sit here and logically tell me right now, what is this team missing? What are they missing? Who have they not beaten in this last 3-4 weeks? Who have they not beaten? Who have they not played good defense against? Who have they not been able to run an offense against? I'm not seeing anything. Playing down to their opponent. Okay, I'll give you that with the Charlotte and the Utah teams. I don't know. I felt like a year ago at this point. It doesn't matter. It's still an 82-game season. You're going to have a few duds. But as of right now, the Lakers look locked in. They're focused, and they know what's at stake, guys. They know that they need to lock up the number 2, because they lock in the number 2. They guarantee themselves 2 home court advantage series, and then more than likely they'd end up playing Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals. And if they get past those guys, I think the Lakers are the favorites against either the Celtics. I don't know. Maybe the Celtics will probably be favorite depending on how they win. But I asked you this question. I think I might have asked Johnny this question. If LeBron was in Kyrie's place last year on Dallas, I feel very comfortable saying that Dallas would have won the championship. So now you have that. Salute to the Lakers. Salute to Jeannie. Salute to everybody. You all are making everyone eat shit, including myself, and I thank you for it.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. Truly appreciate you joining us. It is the Lakers winning 136-115. They're now 39-21. LeBron is now well over 50,000 points. The Lakers are in second place in the Western Conference. They're trying to distance themselves away from the competition. And here today to go ahead and discuss today's game is a good man indeed. It is, of course, the man behind Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. You got to go ahead and check him out today. All the good stuff that he's putting up there at Lakers Corner Clutch Talk on YouTube. It is John Costa. John, always good to have you here, as you've been gone too long from this show. I heard that you were trying to hide while you were in Southern California away from Joe, and I could completely understand that. But let me get into a couple things to get you set up. First off, appreciate the super chat from No Joker saying that LeBron is the GOAT. Again, that's a debate for everyone out there. Certainly one of the greatest of all time. No one, I don't think, can dispute that. But the thing I find interesting, if you look and scroll a little bit up, John, in your chat, you'll see something interesting from someone named Lloyd Avenue. Something I'd never thought I would see after the mean things he said continuously for weeks about one Luka Doncic and the Luka Doncic trade. But I am going to give him credit tonight on this show. And I know Joe doesn't like to give credit. I know he hates credit. He likes cash. He's a cash guy. But John, your thoughts on Lloyd Avenue saying, yes, Xbox. I'm after games again, and I'm loving it. Luka and LeBron is incredible. I apologize for the Luka slander.
You know what, man?
Well, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't familiar with his work. So there you go.
You know,
John. There you go. He manned up. He manned up, John. So your thoughts, my friend, on the apology and the Lakers' performance tonight?
you know what, Gerald? That right there needs to be saluted, man, because
Yes,
I think that's
I
what's
do.
wrong with the world. Is the world has a hard time of coming back when they're wrong and being like, you know what, I was wrong and I'm sorry I was wrong. So shout out Lloyd for him to be able to do that because it takes a real man to be able to do that. So Lloyd, real one. Now, there's a lesson in this though. It's listen to the Lakers fast break folks because we know what the fuck we're talking about. So yes, Lloyd, I'm happy you came back. Happy you came to your consensus. But you know, I remember my mom used to tell me when I was a kid is like, the devil isn't smart because he's smart. The devil's smart because he's old, right? He has experience in life. Um, I'm not saying I'm as old as the guys here, but I've been watching Laker basketball for 20 plus years. So there you have it. But let's talk about the game tonight. What a freaking dominant win, man! Dominant win. I mean, I could sit here and touch on everything that Joe touched on. Luka, LeBron. I love LeBron's effectivism tonight. It's not even a word. Just how effective he was. But I want to give some love to Jackson Hayes, man. Guys, the man scores a season high in one half, and I think people. I feel like they always underplay, undervalue bigs like that. It's like, oh, he's just catching lobs. It's like, yeah, for sure, I agree. He's just going up there and catching lobs, but it's much more than just catching a lob. It's setting a good screen to where now the ball handler can get a good angle, and now you can get the right angle when you're rolling to the hoop. It's not leaving too early on the screen because if you leave too early, the defender can just get over it. It's not leaving too late. It's not setting an illegal screen. Like there's a lot that goes into it, y'all. And I just think it always gets undervalued. So I just wanted to start off by giving him his praise and his just whatever his flowers, however you want to look at it, man. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on is Luka joining that exclusive ass club. Guys, the man hasn't even played 10 games as a Laker. He literally has not played 10 games as a Laker and is joining a club with the motherfucking NBA logo, arguably one of the greatest players to ever play in LeBron James, and then literally the spark for Showtime Lakers. And this guy Luka has joined an exclusive club with them less than 10 games into it. God damn, this is it's just beautiful to see, man. It's beautiful to see. I honestly don't know what else to say besides that. I'm happy we got the win. And my boy Sean Grice is in the house, man. So Sean Grice, Magic Man, talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Well, Nick T also, who was not exactly on board with the Luka trade, has also come here. Thank you again for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. He says, I'm not going to lie. Last few games, Luka played well. Maybe Luka is a little more comfortable without Reeves. Luka differs a little bit too much to Reeves, defers a little bit too much to Reeves. So Sean, the Magic Man, the madman from Toronto, he did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by our playback.tv, South Lakers Fast Break, live coverage of the game and scoreboard and chat. Please don't take us down, YouTube. It is, of course, the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here. And by the way, don't take down John as well, because if I go down, John goes down with me. Sean, great to have you here. So you heard what Nick T has said. Do you think the absence of Reeves might have something to do with the increased performance and gelling between LeBron and Luka?
Short answer, yes, with an if. Long answer, no, with a but. Which one do you want? Which one does Nick T want?
The floor is yours, my friend.
Okay.
I want the butt.
The but? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Long answer, no, with a but. So the long... Gerald, that's an expression, okay?
I know, but you know it always goes there. It always goes there with us. Yes.
Giggity goo.
Enough. Let me talk. This man right here, that's the face of someone who knows what the best type of crayon tastes like with soy sauce.
Okay. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. No, that's not true about Luka and Reeves. So Austin was averaging 20 points with Luka on the floor. So it's hard for me to imagine somehow Nick T thinks that the Lakers are better without Austin Reeves on the floor. That is an incorrect hypothesis. Of course, Luka and LeBron would get the lion's share of shots and possessions tonight without Reeves there. But who's your third option, Nick T, on this team? Like you and Lloyd and a lot of other people are saying, yeah, Reeves should go to the bench. So who are you going to replace Reeves with? See the difference.
I think DFS. I think they would say DFS.
Okay, so let's look at it. Let's look at a situation that's similar. So when the Oklahoma City were on the rise, James Harden came off the bench, Gerald.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was proven it's better if he starts. The Thunder are a better team when Harden starts. So they replaced Tabo Cephalosha in the starting lineup with James Harden. That would be the equivalent of replacing Austin Reeves with Dorian Finney-Smith. You're replacing James Harden for a Tabo Cephalosha. DFS is happy coming off the bench. He understands his role. He's been playing in that role for, Gerald, it's been about a month and a half. It's pretty comfortable. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't leave well enough alone here. I mean, this is a lot of reasons why people overthink in life, watching a basketball game, having a conversation with him. Sometimes it's just not worth it. You just got to stick with what works.
Okay. He wasn't even looking when you did that, but
he heard
Magic
me.
Man,
He heard me.
Okay. Well, let me bring it to him now. But Magic Man, there was a question for you. You want to scroll up on the chat? Just want to make sure, Richard, while we're go ahead and do it. I'll let you answer that in the chat.
Thank you.
Joe, let me bring it to you, my friend. And once again, the Lakers do win, maintaining control of second place to Western Conference, 136 to 115. Up next, I believe they played tonight. They did, in New York City. Was the Knicks. So they are next on the schedule, my friend. And with that, it is going to be what, Thursday? It's a Thursday game? Wow. So they're asking New York to fly all the way across the country, my friend, and play in 2 days against the Lakers. And I know what you're going to say is, okay, 5-star hotels, easy jets, these are 20-year-old kids, should be no problem. But Joe, let me ask you, we do need to finish off this homestand strong, not only to maintain second place, but also because of the not so easy road trip that's coming up on the horizon as well, Joe.
The Lakers are going to lose a game at some point here. We all know this. I would like them to win the home games, and if they do lose a home game, I'd like it to be competitive, and it's okay if they lose here and there. But I'm not looking at any games from here on out the way we did before the Luka trade. Hell, even a little bit after the Luka trade. I'm fully confident that the Lakers are prepared. They're mentally prepared, physically and mentally, and they have the talent to continue to do what they've been doing, which is play a cohesive offense and play cohesively on defense. And next man up has been working very, very well with Austin Reeves and Rui not being out there. And not only that, you're also getting games that are pretty amazing. I mean, Jackson Hayes didn't miss a shot tonight. He didn't miss a free throw, and he went 19 of 10. He was engaged. These were engaged plays. These were plays he made happen 90% of the time. It wasn't something where, oh, he was just under the basket and he dunked it. This was stuff he was rolling to the basket. He was grabbing the rebounds. He was creating a lot of his opportunities. And Luka Doncic, folks, this is going to be one of those games I highly recommend. If you recorded this, I want you to go and watch this man play basketball. And as soon as you're done watching that man play basketball, watch what LeBron James is doing as well. These guys are savants, and I don't even think that's a good enough compliment. They are basketball savants, and they each have their own style. And if I was not a Laker fan, I would still be marveling in their ability to play basketball. It's just unbelievable how good they are at playing basketball. There's been a lot of negativity towards the NBA and how the league is soft, which it is. But that comes from the top, guys. It comes from the top. Those guys have to change that. And I will say this, though. I haven't seen a lot of flagrant fouls this year. I think maybe there was some discussion because I remember for a while there, you couldn't breathe on somebody without a flagrant one, right? I mean, that's just kind of what I sensed. This year, you haven't really been getting it, even though there was one here tonight, which I thought wasn't really that. I think they did it maybe to calm things down, maybe. I don't know. But it's not as bad as it's been the last few years. So I'll give them a little bit of credit there. But what's going to happen here in terms of the league getting up a little bit on some of its failures is watching Luka and watching LeBron James take this thing where we are all hoping as Laker fans, because if they do, especially if it's the Celtics in the finals, this could be a huge change. It could be a huge reversal in terms of interest. And that's kind of what's at stake here, and I'm hoping that it can happen.
And I'm looking at it now, since they play Boston Saturday. So after the Knicks game, they're going to have to fly out cross country and in 48 hours meet one of the best teams in basketball as well. So I think that they'll be up for the challenge. Let's hope that they can finish this homestand strong on Thursday against the Knicks. But John, let me bring it back to you. Before I bring it over to our historian, Sean, on the 50,000 points for LeBron, if you want to touch on that as well, you're more than welcome to. But I wanted to hear your thoughts in the chat. A lot of people are asking and talking about how we think Zion Williamson did tonight, 37 points. I know it really doesn't mean much now because they've only won 17 times. They're already headed for the lottery. This is a lost season for them. I don't know what's going to go on from here. How New Orleans, we talked about their head coach, probably going to be fired at the end of the season. What direction do they go in? Should they look at maybe we've talked about many times on this show about finally trading Zion because he is starting to look like the Zion of old? Or do you keep him as a foundation pillar going forward, despite his injury history, John?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Zion is leaving New Orleans, and I think that even New Orleans knows that he's leaving. I believe that Zion would have been the player we all think that he could have been if he was somewhere else besides New Orleans, somewhere that had the right people around him. Maybe didn't. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's already like big boned going to New Orleans, and he already struggles with that. So I think that like I don't even think he wants to be there, to be honest with you. Like I've heard a lot of rumors saying
he loves New York City.
Yeah, right. So I'm sure he wants to get the fuck out of New Orleans. So so that's that. I mean, the Pelicans, you got to do as much as you can to try to keep a star, but I think he's already got it made in his head. And just really quick, I want to show some love to Xbox and everybody in the chat that said what's up to me earlier. I'm just seeing that now, but also my boy Chris, the art director, my dog, great person. He asked Joe similar question he asked you earlier. He had asked me, who has impressed me. I just want to answer it because I appreciate him even asking that. Honestly, who has impressed me? I would say, besides the obvious of like the Lukas or whatnot, I'd say Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt. I'm not gonna lie. Gabe Vincent, because I was to a point where I'm like, oh man, I'm just gonna chalk this up as another Kendrick Nunn. I was ready to chalk it up as another Kendrick Nunn, but he's been consistently knocking down that shot a lot more, playing his role a little bit better and also just playing a little bit better defense. And then on the other hand, Jared Vanderbilt, the man was literally scared to shoot layups last year. Now we got him hitting corner threes. I mean, if we look in this 7-game win streak that we're on, I'm sure almost all these 7 these games, he's at least hit like 1 or 2. So to his credit, shout out Vanderbilt and shout out Mark, my boy Xbox with the 3 X's at the end of his name. What's up, dog?
My man, so good to see you, John. It's glad you're back today, bro.
Good to see you.
I will get to you in a second, Mark. I'm very glad that you're here. Very glad that you're safe and that you've not been swept away. Although if you did it live on camera now, it would look kind of cool and would get us a lot of interest. I'll just say that. But I'm glad you're here, my friend, and we will talk Lakers for you, and also maybe a little bit of Barca action as well. We'll maybe mention that as far as that's concerned. But Magic Man, I did promise to bring it to you. I want to hear your thoughts as you and Joe are Lakers historians and NBA historians. LeBron James hit a plateau, 50,000 points combined between regular season and playoffs tonight. Let me know how substantial that is. And is this one of those untouchable records in sports that we don't think will be beaten ever, or if at least a long time to come, Magic Man?
In our life, won't be in my lifetime, and won't be in your lifetime, Gerald. That's for sure.
Thanks a lot. I'm gonna die tomorrow, guys. See you guys.
It's a record that, Gerald, I'm a type 1 diabetic. You're likely going to live longer than me, so that's why I prefaced me first there.
No worries, my friend. Just go ahead.
No, it was funny. Anyway, it's going to be a long time, decades. Probably like at least 5-6 decades before somebody comes close to this. It's unprecedented. Considering the environment he was in from the beginning to now, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. If you put anybody else in that same position, they're not getting 50,000 points. It's just that simple. As far as the Lakers go, Gerald, he's still got some odysseys to finish before this is all said and done. I mean, his career isn't done yet, so we're going to see can he get to 55? If he plays 3 more years, it's possible. Then if he gets to 55, I don't think anybody touches that one.
Okay.
Well, think about it in terms of this, Gerald. Okay. A few games ago, LeBron James passed Patrick Ewing for rebounds in a career. Think about how many rebounds Patrick Ewing had. And LeBron's done this. 50, 10,000, 10,000. Is anybody going to get that? I don't think so. Somebody may get over 50,000 and break his point record one day, but I don't think anybody's going to ever average 50,000, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. Not going to happen. There's just this is once in a Gerald. Has there been another Secretariat?
No.
I don't think there's going to be another LeBron.
All right.
Really quick. To Nick T and everyone, and well, not everyone, it's really just Nick T, but he was saying how Gabe Vincent has not been shooting well. Absolutely. The last couple games he hasn't, but if you remember, absolutely. But if you remember last year, it was like at its worst. Like it was like, holy fuck! Like, did we get another Kendrick Nunn? This guy's going to literally provide us nothing. And he absolutely has gotten better. He's dipped a lot, but
he's a streaky player, though.
He's an extremely streaky player.
He is extremely streaky, and when you get him on a heater, like they did in the playoffs for Miami for like the first 2 rounds, yeah, absolutely looks good. And we saw him just not about a month ago. He was really, even Mark stopped hating his face for a while. So that point, so yeah,
John, I would have rather seen Kendrick Lamar play for the Lakers than Kendrick Nunn.
Man, fuck Kendrick Nunn, dude. I remember talking
I
to people.
actually think Kendrick Lamar could score more than Kendrick Nunn.
Probably, honestly. I remember talking to people, bro, and being like, no, just watch when Kendrick Nunn comes back. And then the guy came back and made me look like a fucking idiot.
Well, let me go ahead and bring in a Mark right now. Mark, glad to have you here. So glad you're safe. Everybody out there, our prayers and thoughts are with you in Australia. I Speak the Truth said something here. I got a question for the whole panel. Based on the Lakers winning so far, would everyone be comfortable placing money bets on the Lakers winning a championship now? Just
No.
curious of what the response might be. I'll start with you, my friend, since you are a gambling man and I live in a gambling town. Yeah, I think I would lay some money now on, and if I'm passing by the sports book, I may just do that. Your thoughts on the Lakers, who are still probably fourth or fifth right now on the betting scheme. Your thoughts on what you would do with the Lakers? Would you put some money on them on your mobile app? Although, again, please bet responsibly.
Always gamble responsibly, but yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%, depending on the odds. I mean, they must be shortening real quick for me. Surely we're not the fourth or fifth team now. We've got to be third at minimum, would be my thought, just from a betting perspective. Because really, it's well, there's obviously Cleveland, OKC, Boston, and probably us right now that you consider the top four teams in the league. That's my read on it anyway. And the Lakers being the Lakers, typically, are sort of favored more in the betting. So I'd have to check that out, Gerald. But man, I'm all in. Of course, yeah, I'll put $1,000 on. I don't care. Like for me, it's all about the positive thinking too. So I'll often bet on my sides, and people think that that's quite stupid because it's win-win if you don't. But I'm never betting against Lakers or Barcelona. I'll give you the tip right now. So where we put ourselves in an unreal position. And today was just crazy. The way that Luka came out and just dominated. Joe's touched on it. Hayes looked sick. LeBron was just amazing. And I think we can all see, guys, just in the way Joe's talking about LeBron over the last few games, that even he's seen something quite special there and what he's doing, and as have I. I've not always been his biggest fan. I remember early in the season when he missed like a walk-off three, and he sort of he sort of ran out of the stadium. I kept on telling him to run to the retirement village. I mean, what a regretful call that is. But he's making a lot of us eat our words. So, mad respect to LeBron. And I want to always shout out when I can, Dalton. There's something there that, is quite special. And he's a real threat as a scorer. I think, there was a moment there, he played really poor defense, but went down the other end, got a three. When you got scorers like that, man, I don't know about that trade, boys, but my gut feel is they looked for every single out they could get because they looked at it and thought Williams is not as good as we think. I don't know. They rushed the trade initially, and they've thought, well, let's wait, like the boys keep saying, until the summer to possibly use those assets a bit better. But we can get some real value out of Dalton now, and he's proving critical with AR out and Rui. That's the other one I want to mention is Rui. Rui's not even playing, guys. It's not even being mentioned at the moment by us. We're talking a bit about AR in the comments. We still got Rui to come back too, and he was playing amazing. So, yeah, like the teams, like the boys say, we're going to lose games. It's going to happen, but we're on the way up, and doesn't get more exciting.
Go ahead, Matchman, then I'll turn it over to Joe. Go ahead.
Sure. I've got something for Best League, and the rest of the Austin Reeves should go to the bench. Just to put it in perspective, in 16 minutes together, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James have a 137.1 offensive rating. They have a 91.7 defensive rating and a plus 45.5 rating. That would be the number one plus rating since plus, minus, and net ratings were stats. Just to put that in perspective, what those three do on the court right now is a plus 45. And by the way, Gerald, their true shooting percentage, 75%. So you give me all the DFS numbers you want. You know what DFS's offensive rating is with Luka and LeBron on the floor? 114.8. with Austin Reeves is 137.1. Do you see that? Do you see that best league? How one number is bigger than the other, especially when Reeves is on the floor? Can you do that math?
Yeah, I can do it for winning.
Well, he had to go do his report, Xbox. So
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But Joe, let me bring it to you. And once again, the Lakers do win 136-115. They're 39-21, second place in the Western Conference, still a half game ahead of Denver. I want to ask you this. We talked for a long time about the window closing with LeBron and AD, and it wasn't because AD wasn't a special player. It wasn't because he wasn't playing at an all-star level, and even early on the season playing at an MVP-like level. It's just, what is he doing out there with LeBron that's getting the other guys to that next level? And since we've got Luka really rounding into form, Joe, you can see it's not just about Luka and LeBron trading off 25, 30, 35-point games. It's the fact that they're making other people better, especially with Luka added on. The increased performance from certain guys has got to be noticed. And this is something, unfortunately, that AD with his game could not do at this point in time. It's no slouch and no slight on AD. It's just not his game to do that. But Luka has come in here and done just that, Joe.
Luka is a 48-minute pressure cooker. AD can be a problem, but he's not going to be able to. His game isn't going to create stress for the opposition every time he has the ball. He's not Shaq. He's not Tim Duncan. He should be. He should be that guy. He has the talent, but he doesn't have the mentality for it. He really never has. It's been a great career. He's been successful. There's been plenty of guys like him who have had amazing careers, made it to the Hall of Fame, won championships, went to all-star games. But to make it clear, and it looks like a couple of the people here have understood this, and we have this on tape, so it's not something that materialized in the last few weeks. Folks, when we were silent, at least I was, when we heard about this trade and it was legitimate, this is why. We know who Luka Doncic was. This isn't a secret. I watched this guy play for 7 years, and this guy is special. And I also forgot something in this, in the frustration of where the team had been here the last few years. You see the difference between the organizations. The Dallas Mavericks, in a lot of ways, wasted Luka Doncic's time. Last year was probably the only year where I saw them really go out, go get Gafford, go get PJ Washington. They drafted Lively. That was a good pick, especially where they were. Anytime you can get someone that can start or at least be a pseudo starter in your first year at the 12th pick is it's a pretty good business on your part as far as an organization. The problem, though, is look what they did. Look what they did. They completely napalmed their team, and we still to this day don't really know why. They can say it's because they want to hit the crapper so they can move it to Vegas, or they didn't want to pay this guy $350 million. I'm still trying to figure out why you wouldn't have wanted to pay this guy $350 million for the next 5 years. Okay, if you don't want to pay him after the 5 years, that's fine. If you don't think he's going to make it past 30, okay, how about take care of it now? He's gonna hit his prime. However, the deal happened. It was unreal, still is to a degree, and now you exchanged a player that does not dominate basketball the way Luka Doncic does. And then on top of that, you have Luka Doncic who's going to limit the best player on the team in a lot of ways. Maybe I don't even know if I can say 1A, 1 and 1A or 1A and 1B. It's right now it's 2 1s. They're both 1s. Now you allow LeBron James to play 33 minutes tonight, and he is as efficient as he can be. You're extending leads. This is not the only time it happened tonight either. LeBron sits now, and I find myself looking at 7-8 point pluses before he comes back in. Guys, that is death to the opponent, because now when Luka sits, he's comfortable, and then now you have to deal with LeBron James. And if LeBron James isn't making unforced turnovers, which he's not doing it every game, he did it the other night, but looks like he didn't do it tonight. Didn't have to. Maybe he fixed it. Who knows? But this is a dangerous formula for the opposition, because you can't stop the kind of basketball IQ that Luka Doncic has. Drop coverage, all this stuff JJ had mentioned in the post game in the last game. If you want to drop coverage with Luka, he is going to end you. And if he starts hitting those shots like he did tonight, he will end you in the second quarter. And he's not waiting on. I'm not trying to dog on Kyrie here. I'm sorry what happened. I'm sorry what happened to him, but I'm sorry. Kyrie is not LeBron James, folks. If you're gonna give Luka Doncic LeBron James at peak, and then you have these guys all doing their job, playing defense, looking like a bunch of freaking pit bulls and Dobermans, yeah, this is going to be fun. Oh my God, it is going to be fun, and I'm ready for it. Been waiting for this, been foaming for this, and we're going to see some damn good basketball here. Should everybody be healthy and just get ready because it's coming.
Once again, it is. Oh, Rodell's back. What do you know? Did Max Christie do something? He hasn't done much lately. Once again, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is, of course, the Lakers winning tonight with ease. I want to bring it back to you, Mark. 7 games ago, we just came off a loss after the All-Star break against the Charlotte Hornets, and the Lakers. It was actually the second disappointing loss in a row. First one was against the Utah Jazz just before. So they bookended the All-Star break with really tough losses. So we were kind of questioning what was going on. But 7 games later, the Lakers find themselves right now second place in the Western Conference. They're right now rolling. They're right now looking forward to a matchup against the Knicks with even some guys that are out of the lineup, or maybe Austin will return by that time, hopefully before, and get some minutes in before they go out on the road. But what has taken place? What has changed in this 7-game winning streak to give you a lot more confidence, my friend?
Well, look, I mean, sometimes, and we've spoken about this before, but you play down to the opposition. And I'm not sure if those couple of games were a matter of that. And the fact that we were, Sean, who's Sean talking to?
Go ahead, Magic.
I was going to say Rodell's in the chat. That's why I put the ER beam up there.
Yeah, look, I feel like that was a matter of playing down to the opposition, Gerald, and not playing well, and the integration of Luka at the time. There's still going to be a couple of hiccups, guys. Like, we've got to expect that, and the team's still not perfect overall. But the period of adjustment, I mean, I don't even remember those couple of games now, the way we're playing. So, yeah, not good games, but it's again, the game against Hornets we could have easily won. And yeah, we went to Utah and had a blowout loss, but we also smashed them a couple of days before. So I don't know, like, they've been the only hiccups in 20 odd games really, or 19 odd games. So had to happen, but you learn from those moments too. And I always sometimes when you do go on these big runs, you've got to have a loss to learn some lessons and sort of reset. So all good for me. That's in the past now, Gerald. If you just focus on what's happened over the last few games, it's incredibly encouraging. And as I keep saying, Reeves is out and Rui's out. They're our 3rd and 4th best player. So that's insane. The way that Luka and LeBron are able to lift these other guys, and getting AR and Rui back is just going to complement that. So It's all good. Speed bumps are going to happen, but we're second in the Western Conference now, and we just got to keep winning. We got to roll. We got to keep winning, and if we can make that second spot, man, as the saying goes, the world's our oyster. Because for me, we can still beat OKC, man. We can beat them. Joe was the one that sort of drummed that into my head that they're a beatable team for us. They did worry me. Obviously, they've got some great players there, but Luka, just the way that the team plays when Luka's there, it's really exciting. And the confidence is just through the roof. And just Luka, the way he plays, man, he just plays at his own pace. I'm a big tennis guy, obviously being a big Rafa Nadal fan, never really appreciated Roger Federer at his peak. But Luka sort of reminds me a little bit of that, where it's just all at his own pace. Everything at his own pace. There was a couple of times tonight where he just grabbed the ball and LeBron passed it to him. LeBron was going 100 miles an hour. Luka got the ball and just everything just slowed down. And it's either he's making the right shot or the right pass pretty much 10 times out of 10. And Lloyd, good for you for coming around, but it's a shame that you never watched any highlights of Luka. If you didn't know his talent, man, I'd encourage you to just go Google some highlights, bro, because he's been doing this for the whole time he's been in the NBA, and prior to that, when he was playing as a 14 and 15-year-old at Real Madrid. Dude's absolutely elite. We'll never understand the trade. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, their ownership or whatever, man. But now it's moving forward. The Lakers, that little, when he shot that three and just did that little Jimmy to the crowd, I love that sort of stuff. He hasn't felt super comfortable with our crowd yet, but he's getting there. LA's a big market.
He did that little,
that little dance. That's sort of Steph Curry-esque in terms of the cockiness and things like that. You love to see that. That means he's getting comfortable, guys. And if Luka gets comfortable, the league's dead. So, it's all good. The only way is up. We keep going up. When's our next game, Gerald? If I can just check in with you.
Thursday, your Friday. Our
Friday,
Thursday,
okay.
to beat against the New York Knicks.
Well, Knicks lost tonight against Golden State. We're better than Golden State. So if that math adds up, we should win. It doesn't always work out that way, but man, that's a sick game to see Luka. Is that in New York, Gerald?
No, it'll be here at the
LA in the crib.
Yeah,
right.
Remember, Mark, we played the Knicks in
already, and we beat them
on Luka night.
Yeah, that's right. When such a good point. And you only played it once, don't you? You want to break my thumb? It was all worth it. And I got noise complaints and kicked out of my house.
Exactly. I remember that.
Yeah. My new neighbors hate me, man. I'm like,
it's okay.
To the Lakers.
What about the hot one?
It's okay. My neighbors hate me too until they find out I'm a paramedic and one of them stubs their toe and rings my doorbell for a full minute.
What about the young lady you said that was nearby? You said.
Well, that's always under control.
Well, I live with that. I live with her.
Oh, that's Sean. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Oh, do you? Nice, Sean. But no, onwards and upwards for us, Gerald. Onwards and upwards. Amazing game today. I really enjoyed seeing Luka and LeBron just keep dominating. It's sick.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers win 136-115. Sean, before I get it over to Joe, I know that, again, I've been talking back to Sports Baby, and actually it was mentioned in the chat. Are we going to be able to sign Trey Jamison and Jordan Goodwin? Jordan Goodwin, although with the sprained ankle, did not play. Trey Jamison has been getting some time, and Trey is very interesting in certain ways. Very muscular, very big, imposing, but 6'9", 6'10", good 5 good hard fouls. If he it matches up against Jokic, he could probably get him pissed off so that maybe both get thrown out of the game. That's probably, thuggery, maybe a kind of word that you would utilize with him. Just don't ask him to shoot free throws because it's absolutely ugly to watch. But, your thoughts on Jameson and Goodwin? The Lakers have under $900,000 left before they hit that second tax apron, so they will not go above that. They might let this stick out to the last day of the regular season because they have that prerogative with both those guys, I believe, as two-way players to make whether or not they want to put them on as regular players on the roster and have them eligible for the playoffs. I do not know the finances for if they do that, how much that will cost them. So I don't know for sure if they can do both, but I have a feeling that's what they may be thinking as they play this all out. Because remember, we just saw a flurry of action in the NBA as far as signing the last day you can sign players to two ways or the 10 days and all that. The scenario we just saw over the course of the weekend. They may be playing the long game with those two, but how do you see it happening for those two? And who would you move if you brought those two on?
Very good question, Gerald. I think the first one is obvious. I would be comfortable with both of them being on the playoff roster. I agree with you about Trey. That being said, less is more with Trey, Gerald. I think in the playoffs, you're not going to play him 8 to 12 minutes a game. He's likely to get anywhere from, maybe 3 to 8 at the most, depending on foul trouble and injuries.
Is that Jameson or Goodwin?
Jameson.
Oh, Jameson, you just go out to set there to go ahead and
I
get Jokic out of the game in trouble or something like that. Get him pissed off.
I don't know if Goodwin's going to play a lot in the playoffs. We'll see. I don't think so.
Goodwin might.
We'll see.
If they
depending on matchups, and foul trouble.
Yeah.
But they're both good. They're both great role players. Goody should be signed just based on his effort alone, being signed mid-December, and he's playing his butt off. I actually really admire the Goon Squad. I think they give us a little bit of snarl out there, which is what you need in the playoffs. So I'd be very happy with both of them. And like you said, it's a long game, Drill. I expect them to probably be signed probably within the last week of the regular season, maybe even the last day, as you were saying a couple days ago. And
it all depends on how much they can sign them for, how much that they, what's the minimum. I don't know what the minimum is for playing, being signed at the last day of the season. That,
Yeah, exactly. And you're probably going to jettison, look, cardio bro Cam's got to go. He's worked on his.
But you won't be able to say cardio bro anymore.
I know. Fitbit Cam needs to hit the showers for the Lakers. Okay. And the other guy, Gerald, I think you hit the nail on the head. You said it'd probably be Reddish and Markieff Morris. I think Keefe would probably be released as well. So
that'd be so funny if he ends up getting another ring with the Lakers, though.
I'd give him another ring if the Lakers won, for sure. And by the way, especially if they beat the Nuggets, after what Jokic did to end his career, Gerald, by hitting him in the back.
You're right.
True, man. And then the bros got involved, I think, after the game or something from memory.
Yep. Absolutely.
That was really dirty, Nicola. I'm gonna pay for that one day.
Joe, let me bring it back into here. You guys always get into like a mafia theme at some point in time during the show, but it always is, of course, great to have you here. It is the Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Mark, aka Xbox, Magic Man Chuck Rice, and Joe Soro. Joe, let me bring it back to you, my friend. The Lakers are riding in second place, obviously maintaining it. I want you to go over it again, because I think it needs reiterating with our audience exactly how important it is for the Lakers with the age that they have with LeBron, with the type of how well they play at home. They're not a great road team. At least the records at this point in time is not great. How important it is for the Lakers to have that high of a seed, Joe?
Well, it's about the advantage of playing the first 2 games at home and what it means in the history of doing that in series in the playoffs. It's not so much whether they're good. Didn't matter if you're great on the road in the last 35 years during the season. It matters in the playoffs if you hold a top seed. There's only been 1 through 4, with exception to 1 6 seed in 95. And that 95 season, when you look at how things ended that year, there was a lot of anomalies that year. It was a trade deadline acquisition that turned into a title. It was a 6 seed going and winning a championship. It was a finals team that swept and ended up winning at home in a sweep, which was never done. The 95 season is an anomaly. When they talk about the word anomaly, that season was an anomaly. Other than that season, the other 34 years, you're looking at a team that's going to win the championship if they're sitting at 1 through 4. And it was important for the Lakers to get to those areas where they are right now. Should they stay there, it's going to only enhance their ability to make a run. The Lakers can win a championship as a 4 seed, but it's going to be very, very difficult because you'd have to play Oklahoma City in the second round. You might end up playing Denver, for all we know, in the first round. Sean will have a PMS feel out of nowhere while somebody's talking. These things happen. You can't stop it. It happens. And in the end, just get the first 2 series. We're not going to get the 1 seed. Get the first 2 series at home. I am positive, barring a major injury, that Oklahoma City will be there in the Western Conference Finals. And then if the Lakers should make it there, I'm going to feel pretty comfortable having Luka and LeBron go against anybody at that point. And that should be the focus. That should be the focus for this team. It's not something you're looking ahead, guys. What are we at? 22 games left? 23 games left? This thing is about to games left. Yeah, we're about to end. This is it, guys. We're about to end here. Get to the 2nd seed. Get the 2nd seed. Make sure you got the first 2 rounds at home. I feel very comfortable with this team winning those series, no matter who they're playing, especially with the way Luka's playing, of course, how LeBron's playing, and the supporting cast. And then if they can create a miracle, beating a 1 seed in the Western Conference Finals, and hopefully beating either Cleveland or Boston in the finals, then there's going to be a lot of talk about a lot of things at that point. Luka's career, LeBron's career, the Lakers organization, and of course us sitting there worrying about what we were really, really concerned about. And that is are the Celtics going to win another championship and extend that lead to 2 championships? Right now, I have no worry about that now. Now I have full confidence that the Lakers have a very good chance here in the next few years to start winning some championships, even if they don't win it this year.
Okay. So Magic Man, JY put it for you before your rebuttal. I just wanted to ask and throw in there, who has the better big 3? Because he was asking you in the West than the Lakers, Sean. If you want to add that into whatever you wanted to talk about, go for it. And then Mark, I got you right after it.
Sure. I just wanted to, Natalia, you're a great member of the Lakers Fast Break community, and I really appreciate your commentary, but you are dead wrong about the Morris twins and about that night. You are dead wrong. You need to watch the clips again. Markieff Morris rushes Nikola Jokic. He rushes him. He hits him facing him hard. What happens after that is that 6'10" bitch boy from Serbia waits for Markieff Morris to turn around, shoves him in the back, and he hurts his neck, and he's never the same again. I don't have to have a perfect memory, Natalia. It just has to be better than yours, and in this case, it is. Gerald,
that's not piss off Natalia. She's been a great part of the channel.
She is. I love Natalia. She's just dead wrong about the Morris twins. Don't let Gerald. Gerald, I'm telling you right now, if you don't know a pair of fraternal male twins, don't mess with them. Don't mess
All
with
I'm
them,
gonna
man.
say is, I've just got this now. If you remember the Disney Plus series Hawkeye and the tracksuit bros, I've just got that image right now in my head right now. Just those guys were hilarious. That is to me still the best Disney Plus Marvel series. Although we'll see with
We'll
Daredevil.
see. We'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
I will say this. I think that I look, a lot of people are gonna just say it's homerism or whatever. I don't think there's a better big three in the West. I think OKC has a very good big three, but they don't have Luka and LeBron. I would say, if you want to put Jalen Williams an all-star ahead of Austin, sure, go ahead. But SGA and whoever you want to put as the second guy, third guy, they don't compare. So I think the OKC is close at number 2, and then the number 3 for 3 guys, I would say you're probably looking at Memphis. But again, Baines had an up and down year, so I mean, I put them right there, Gerald. But then again, I don't think anybody compares to what we got.
Let me bring it to you, my friend, Mark from Down Under. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 136-115. Magic Man Sean Grice, Joe Sorrell, aka Ox1947, and of course, Mark, aka Xbox. Henry Hill in our ultra super secret chat just said a few minutes ago, was talking about 55 wins, how he's been calling it for some times. Even before Luka, he said he was calling it for 2 months now. And the Lakers, with a 16-6 performance the rest of the way, can do it. The schedule is not going to be a fun one. If you look at the list of teams that's upcoming, especially going out on the road for quite a few of them. We still haven't faced OKC a lot or at all. Your thoughts, my friend? Can they get to 55 wins? Because that would probably get us the second seed with maybe some room to spare.
Yeah, of course. I mean, 6 games, 6 losses, 16 wins. Is that what you're saying out of the next 22 games?
16-6, they would have to
Yeah.
go.
I mean, that's what we'd be aiming for, surely, the way we're rolling. I mean, it could be even better than that. So, Henry's the internal optimist, and he might be right here. And I think he was maybe calling for that before the Luka trade. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. If that locks up the second spot, that's what we've got to go for. For me, it's not really, I think it's just game by game now. Every game's a new game. We just got to rock up and win. I mean, that sounds simple and basic to look at it that way, but sort of how I've always looked at sport. There's nothing better than winning momentum. So, yeah, we've got a real chance to go 16-6. I know the schedule does get tough, Joe, and like you made the point about the Warriors today, how they've won in New York. We've got to now go do that. We've got to go away and start winning. The Crips are hometown, so we've got to take care of the Crip games. But when we do go away, we've got to show this sort of, what we're showing now at, in LA away. And I'm confident we can do that. And JY's question, I'm not exactly sure I agree with Natalia saying that the Golden State might have the second best 3 in in the Western Conference. Curry and Butler are very good pairing, but then it really drops off with Draymond for me. So I don't even care. Like, you can talk about big threes all you want. We've got the best big 2 that possibly the game's ever seen at this point. So and that's legit. Let's be honest. I mean, LeBron's possibly playing at a top 5 level now, right now. And who else is in the top 5, guys? Luka Doncic. So you're looking at 2 top 5 players in the game potentially on the one team. So it's all good. Chucking AR, that's even better. Throwing Rui, that looks good too. So the 1-2 punch is insane. I remember a couple of games ago, remember when they did that? Luka didn't have the overall best game, but remember they did that back and forward? The passing back and forward, they very patient between LeBron, and then LeBron jacked in a 3. I'd have to look back on which game that was. dude, it was just starting then. These guys have only played a handful of games together. And like Joe says, man, when LeBron goes to the bench, he never could chill out. He could never just sit there and take it all in and go, look what's happening here. We're increasing the lead. Every single time LeBron went to the bench, we went to water. It felt like over the last few years. And then LeBron in fourth quarters was really struggling to carry the team because he's having to do it so much during the game. That's all gone now. Like what I keep saying during playback is that you can just see now LeBron just needs to focus on what he is actually very, very good at, which is scoring the basketball. Sean, you made a sick point last post game where you're talking about how LeBron's being very precise in what he's doing. It's 3 or 4, 2 or 3 dribbles, shoot, 2 or 3 dribbles, pass. I was watching that tonight, man. Exactly what he was doing. There's not extra bursts of energy that he needs to make. It's not holding the ball until the last second of the shot clock, doing all these fancy moves, trying to get it up. That's tiring. He's doing like he's playing essentially like a Klay Thompson did when they were at their peak with Golden State. It's dribble shoot. And he's great at it. Like he can score, and that's going to prolong his career. So, yeah, man, 16-6, Gerald. Of course, we're going for that.
And Mark, like LeBron's been, and what's ironic about this whole thing is LeBron has been talking about wanting to play more off ball since his second stint in Cleveland. You remember that? You remember that, Gerald? He talked about, I want somebody to run the floor so I can play more off ball. And finally, 10 years later, he's got the perfect guy that God just, here, LeBron, you need to play off ball. I got you. I got you.
This is the greatest ever player to do that with. So yeah, man.
He is. Other than Magic Johnson. If Luka wins a couple titles and a couple finals MVPs, I'll put him above Irvin. I'm sorry, Irvin, but it is what it is with Luka. But yeah, I mean those would be the two guys you would put beside LeBron and say, you want to play off ball, big bro? Go for it. Yeah.
I'll just quickly rebuttal Young there, Sean. I mean, like, Sean, I don't know, Young, if you just heard me compliment LeBron and say that he was a top 5 player in the league, I don't know how that's disrespecting him. But what I'm saying, Young, is that he can focus on what he should be doing at this age, which is just scoring, man. Obviously, he can defend and all that, bro, and he can pass. We saw that tonight. But come on, man. Like, I don't know if we have to, every time we talk about LeBron, just praise every single thing he does.
And Mark,
I said he was a top 5 player.
And Mark, a lot of people, again, you want to talk about bringing Austin Reeves off the bench. There's another player who LeBron can rely on when he's on the court to have the ball in his hands so LeBron can play more off the ball. Like, there's not another player, fans, out on the bench that you could put in the starting lineup and LeBron would have the exact same feelings about playing beside them off the ball.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, well said. I mean, it's just coming together so well. It's the perfect player for LeBron right now. We thought it was AD, a big man type of player. They can do the pick and roll. They weren't really doing that for a long time, whether that was LeBron's appetite or AD's appetite. It just had dropped off. So the perfect player for LeBron to elongate his career is Luka. And we got him.
And we got him indeed. Once again, it is the Lakers winning 136-115. Joe, Henry did mention on our ultra super secret chat, 55 wins, something he's talked about. But we kind of thought, that's in the distance. That's an if. But as it got closer, as Luka joined, things started to go a lot better for us. Lakers now find themselves, once they were in 10th in mid-December, now they're in second place in the Western Conference. How good is it that we're actually talking about 55 wins? Not just 50 wins, Joe. 55 wins.
Yeah, it's 39 and 60 games in, 39 wins is wow. I didn't expect it. I really didn't. And the Lakers to win 55 would mean going 16 and
6.
6.
Sounds reasonable right now, Joe.
I mean, it's doable. It's essentially winning 2 of every 3 games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doable. It's definitely doable. And 55 wins, with the way things are playing out in the West, probably puts them at 2. That probably solidifies 2. 52 was a number I thought for sure they'd get in the top 4, maybe 3 even. 55 has to put them at 2. They get
But
the
you
2.
and I were talking 42, 43, 44. It's got to be
Yeah,
satisfying.
there's no. I said this in the last show. There is no more discussion of what we said before. Everything changed February 1st. It's useless. No one expected this. No one assumed it. No one predicted it. There's no one on the planet that could have predicted anything like this. This is we talked about the anomalies in 95. This is a bigger anomaly. And the thing is, this will last for much longer than one season for a team to accomplish what they need. So to say, well, we said 44 wins, it doesn't fucking matter. If Luka was on this team in the summer, we wouldn't have said that. This is a completely different team. The role players, the coaching, the players that are in charge, Luka, LeBron, are way better than what we came in with at the beginning of the year. And Anthony Davis, this is something I'm going to kind of throw at this. Anthony Davis is that guy who did what he was supposed to do, did it well, didn't win as much as we wanted, but a lot of it wasn't his fault either. I'm not going to get into the details. It just, the way the decisions were made the last few years, I'm not going to necessarily blame him either. There was bad things going on everywhere. However, there's been a flip. There's been a 180. Now everything is kind of back to where we want it to be. And barring injury, I don't see how this team isn't going to be a problem for anybody. And that's just what it's going to be. That's just what's left at this point. If this team doesn't have an injury that kills the kind of momentum and the ability to go make a run, this team has a clear path to something special. Whether that happens, I don't know. Oklahoma City might come through and say, "Hey, man, you're not beating us in a 7-game series." They may face Boston in the finals, and that their experience in the finals might be just too much for this team at that moment. This is still the regular season. The playoffs are tricky. However, it is Luka and LeBron. And I feel, as far as the whole big 3, big 2, everybody's infatuation with who has the best this, who has the best that, I need you to give me a really good reason which 1-1 are better out there in the NBA than LeBron and Luka right now.
Good point. Absolutely good point indeed. Mark, let me bring it to you. Score of the game, 136-115. We definitely saw the Lakers not put that kind of pressure on New Orleans, especially that second half. They really didn't need it. Once they got hot, they let the game get close, kind of close at one point in time, kind of playing down to their level, but realized in the end who they were playing against. Realized it was Zion on 5, and the 5 got them because Zion alone couldn't help them out. Although Trey Murphy, I think he's going to be a good one in this league. So keep your eyes on him. Your thoughts, though? I mean, we've talked about ad nauseum since January 14th. The Lakers have played at a elite level defensively. Today was not one of those days. Do you think it's just a blip on the radar because of who they were playing at and knew they could win at pretty much any given point in time? Or do you see it as something where they need to get those fresh bodies of Rui and AR back in there just to provide that continuous energy in the rotation. And Goodwin as well.
And good one. Yeah. Look, I mean, the defense that we had been playing, Gerald, was phenomenal. This is the NBA. I don't know what the average scoring right now in the NBA is, but I'd suggest it's a lot more than 100. So there was always going to be a few, we're going to have games. People are telling me that LeBron, doesn't defend well anymore. Luka doesn't defend at all. So, was it an anomaly that 100 games, or is this where we're going to be, but we're still going to blow out teams by 30 points because we can score so much? I'm not too sure. I think tonight was a bit over the mark in terms of what they did score. We'd obviously want teams to stay around that 100-point mark. Credit to Zion Williamson. He had a great game, man. The dude's, he's dropped a lot of weight. And he was exploding tonight, and it was in a game that we ended up winning by 20 odd points. It was pretty awesome to see some of the dunks that he did do. Trey Murphy played very well as well. But at the end of the day, we don't have our third and fourth best player there. Okay, AR, again, people are telling me he's a defensive liability. Well, everything seems to be all good when he's out there too. Rui is definitely, for me, a decent defender. So that doesn't worry me, man. I've always said this, and it's the same with Barcelona. Score 2 goals against us, we'll score 6. Score 115 points against us, we'll go and score 135. Score 100, we'll score 125. It's just the way the game works out sometimes. What was really impressive was contributions tonight from Vando, Connect, Milkshake, my boy. He had a great game tonight. Okay, he's not a great defender. So, he might concede a couple points on the other end. But if he scores 12 and Connect gets 13, and they're letting up 6-8 points between them, the math is in our favor. Sometimes I look at the game, as I've said a few times to you boys, I didn't play the game growing up. I mean, I played it in my backyard, and I had a couple of years in high school there where I was absolutely balling out, but we won't talk about that. That I look at it a little bit differently. For me, it's just based on the eye test and numbers. And yeah, you score 115, we'll score 135. Like they did come back, Gerald, but as we felt with other games, there was never a point where I'm thinking we're going to lose, because you've got Luka and that just sitting there going, no worries, boys, bring it close. And next thing, 10-point lead to us. They had a 12-2 run. I think it was in the second or third, Gerald, possibly the second. 12-2 run. We're thinking, geez, they're coming back. 11-0 run to us. The NBA is about spits and spurts with runs at the moment, but we've got dominant players that Luka can do that whilst LeBron's on the bench, and then LeBron comes on, and the opposition's getting no relief right now. So, good on them for scoring 115 points and for Zion having a good game, but never did I feel like this game was out of control. What we wanted tonight was for the boys to get a bit of a rest. Luka's only played 34 minutes tonight. LeBron possibly around that mark as well, slightly less. So they've essentially got a quarter of rest tonight throughout the game. Exactly what we wanted. Obviously, next game, and JJ, you might watch his press conference. I'm sure he's going to harp on the defense. But, hey, it's a 21-point win. So that's fine to me. Let's move forward. Obviously, we want to sharpen up the defense, but I'm all about scoring, baby. And when I looked at it tonight, we just come out of the gates just so well. I think I said to Joe after 2.5 minutes, we're already 10 and 12 points, and it was so comfortable, and they were 4. Like, okay, they did ultimately come back, but we've started games so well. Can you remember early in the year with the other boys that were there, and we'd 10, 15, 20 points? It felt like we were going down pretty much every second quarter. We're always chasing. And then it would come to the third quarter, and whatever the score line was, would go to water during thirds. Just none of that's happening now. The confidence is a different level. So, yeah, man, I'm all good with exactly where we're at. And yeah, the defense will get better. You don't want to let 115 points get in every team. But like I said, we're going to score 20 points more than you. Score what you want.
Once again, it is the Lakers winning 136-115. Wanted to go ahead and hear from Joe on this. JJ Redick, Xbox just mentioned about the job that he's doing. And I do want to go ahead when we talk about a good team victory like this, obviously get him praise as far as what he's been doing to orchestrate this. Looks like he's no longer can be considered the rookie coach that has his ups and downs. It looks like he's taken his lumps and come through and really gotten this team in a position where they can compete and compete at a really high level. If you want to see how well this team actually does, go to the standings. And the interesting thing, Joe, that you find is the teams that play in the Western Conference and their records in the Western Conference against teams that they're playing against in the Western Conference. Of course, you're going to see Oklahoma City at the top, Joe, that are 10.5 games ahead of the Lakers right now. They are 29-10 against their own conference. But Joe, you look at that. JJ and the Lakers are not far behind at 27-12. Your thoughts at the record that we're seeing there, and there were thoughts on how JJ has orchestrated so far.
Yeah, it's pretty considerable, actually, how well they play against West teams. West teams are more competitive than the East. You look at the top 3 teams in the East, they're pretty much waxing all the bottom feeders, everyone from 1, 2, and 3. They're in the 30s in the East. The East just cannot evenly be better than the West, it seems, ever. It's been like this for so long. It's why they've discussed maybe doing a 16-team tournament that includes all the teams from each conference, which I'm not for. I prefer the conferences being the way they are because you're not playing baseball. You're playing this is truly a Western versus Eastern type setup. I don't want to have a team playing Boston one series, playing New York another series, playing Miami another series all in one run. That's stupid. Keep it the way it is and somehow figure out a way to get the East to kind of get their shit together. Maybe, I don't know. I've been reading the chat a little bit here, and I think I realize a lot about how people kind of work with their minds, with their brains. You start to worry when things start to get comfortable with the stuff that matters. You start to nitpick other shit. I'm reading stuff about, well, Shai Gilgeous is going to expose Austin Reeves, and Vando will get exposed in the playoffs. There's some merit there based off of past history, but to put your guys' head at ease, why would I worry about Austin Reeves guarding Shai Gilgeous? Why would J.J. Redick, with all this knowledge and the way the Lakers have been playing, why would they all of a sudden decide to go back to a Darvin Ham run team? That's something Darvin Ham would do. The Lakers are a cohesive unit right now, as cohesive as I've seen since 2020. They play defense together. They're all on a string. They're able to switch quick. It doesn't matter whether the guy's at the three-point line, whether he's in the box. In the paint. They are catching up and they're causing issues. They're competing. They're getting in front of their guy or the guy they're switching it to. This is a team defense success that you've been watching. It's not a singular defensive stopper. Jared Vanderbilt, as good as a one-on-one player on the Lakers as he is, his contribution is more being that Dennis Rodman, like focusing on where the ball is going and getting a hand on it. If he's not getting the rebound, he's at least getting his hand on it. That tends to cause problems in a 48-minute game against your opponent because now they're like, we don't know where somebody's coming to get this ball. Have you guys noticed that the Lakers have flipped this offensive rebound issue now? Now the Lakers are getting offensive rebounds. That
17 to 10 on the offensive boards and 51 overall.
That is not a singular player. That is not Austin Reeves and who he's guarding. It's not Jared Vanderbilt and who he's guarding or DFS. This is a team balanced setup. And they are becoming a nuisance. They're becoming an irritant in those areas that were an irritant to the Lakers. The Lakers have clicked because probably JJ Redick's experience since November, December, January, and the fact that you gave him Luka Doncic has given his coaching ability an advancement due to repetition, due to the fact that you gave him a player that will probably keep him in LA as the head coach for at least a decade. It's just what it is, right? That's what's going to likely happen. I would say stop worrying about what might happen against Oklahoma City in the playoffs. Focus on the next 22 games. Focus on the next 22 games, and I believe the Lakers are going to do this. They need to make sure that they do everything they can to get that second seed. They get that second seed, this run gets much easier. And don't get all weird when Jackson Hayes gets played off or Jared Vanderbilt gets played off. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a memory lesson here, okay? If you guys watch the 2020 run, because everybody gets their jollies off with Dwight Howard even before this all happened. Like, we need to get a center. We need to get a center. We need to get a center. Folks, Dwight Howard only had a good series against Denver. He was useless in the Portland series. He was useless in the Houston series, and he was useless in the
McGee
finals.
got played off in the playoffs
McGee
as it went on.
And that was fine. So McGee played that role of starting the games because there was continuity.
During the regular season.
Well, he did still start in the playoffs. There was continuity there. And then what he did bring is there is still a 7'1" with arms from here to the other side of the court that you still have to somewhat think about. But then once things started to progress during the game, adjustments being made, they slid AD to the 5, and you all saw what happened. This is likely how this is going to play out. Don't expect Jackson Hayes to be a star center. That's not his game. Don't expect Jared Vanderbilt to be this Marcus Smart Defensive Player of the Year type player. Even Marcus Smart got played off the court a lot because he couldn't hit shots in the playoffs. So, but what is important to understand is that the Lakers have Luka Doncic and LeBron James. And then they have Austin Reeves, who is now going to go into his third playoff series. And I thought he played pretty darn well against Denver, better than he did the year before. If he progresses a little bit more, and then if Rui can make some damn layups, because he was missing layups left and right in the last series against Denver in the playoffs, if he can improve just a little bit, now you have your third and fourth guy contributing with someone who's going to be captaining the ship in Luka, and then on top of that, you have LeBron James as a striker. I mean, it is I have to throw that in because my boy Mark is here, and I know he loves soccer. So I grew up around soccer, by the way. It's not something that's new to me. My dad was a phenomenal soccer player, and I was too big for that sport.
Could have played both.
I liked inflicting pain. You don't do that in soccer, really. So this thing is still developing, folks. It's still developing. So let it develop. Enjoy the games. I know you guys haven't heard me talk like this before, but this is how I was speaking for years. Years with friends, with acquaintances, before I got on a podcast. I did it for a little bit in the radio as well. Not so much because that format is specific to topics, and it was a sports channel, it wasn't a Laker channel. But I want you guys to really, really embrace what you're watching here. Enjoy what this is, because this is beautiful basketball, and there's a beautiful future ahead of us. This is beautiful basketball, and it's only going to get better. If the Lakers can somehow manage to do what the Dodgers did this last year in squeaking a title out of some deficiencies, and then you go into this summer with that and enhance it even more, this is going to get even more exciting. And man, if you guys thought the Lakers had a lot of attention the last few years, my God, you have no idea what's coming, especially if they win it.
Before we get it over to Mark for his final thoughts and your final thoughts, Joe, I'll let you add on to this from Bloodhound. Do you think their play is sustainable?
Oh, yeah. This is not the way Luka plays and the way LeBron plays. Now, LeBron has been playing like the reason why LeBron is going to continue to play well as long as he isn't making unforced errors. That's the only thing that he needs to stop doing, and he did it tonight. He didn't hardly do anything. He had turnovers, but it wasn't just the bounce pass from 20 feet away type stuff that he was doing in the last game. That's all I ask him to do. Because when you handle the ball as much as LeBron handles the ball and Luka, you're going to have turnovers. It's just part of the game. But it's the unforced stuff that you don't need to do, that you want to make sure you stay away from. So I don't see any reason why LeBron can't continue to play the way he's been playing. And Luka just turned 26, folks. He is a young pup. This guy is a mega star. And you are seeing it. If you didn't watch enough Dallas Maverick basketball, I know it sucks to watch other teams sometimes. You focus on yours. But I have watched Luka Doncic play basketball in the NBA since he's come in. And we've had guys that have watched him when he was at Barca. Okay? And this guy is a prodigy. He is the LeBron of Europe. That's who he was. This guy was found very early. He's been a pro. This kid was playing with pros at 15, at 16.
He won the Euro MVP at 15,
yes.
16.
Yes.
Of the Euro League basketball, man. That's
you have no. I seriously don't think you all understand what's coming. What's coming in LA? Because no one enhances stars better than the LA Lakers. No one. And you have the number one guy who's got a clutch gene on top of that. Number one guy in terms of ball control of an offense. I know Jokic is great. You can argue that he's number one. I'm not going to argue against it right now. He is number one in my book. But we're talking about a bona fide point guard, a guy that really does control the game in its entirety. And I'm telling you guys right now, Luka is going to win multiple MVPs should he stay healthy, and he's going to win multiple championships. And you're all going to be here to watch how unbelievable he is. The Lakers, when Luka looks back with his pops, his family, all this stuff, when they look back, let's say in 5 years, I guarantee you he's going to get interviewed. They're going to say, I was devastated when I got traded, but my God, this was the best thing that ever happened in my career. Because he will have a statue outside the crypt should he win 2 championships. But I think he's going to win more.
So before we head on out, once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Wanted to go ahead and mention again that the Lakers are still in second place in the Western Conference after tonight's really, really well done in the second half victory, 136-115. Tomorrow we'll be back, as always, for our off-day programming. But Mark, a.k.a. Xbox, I am once again so glad you were safe. You did not wash away with the typhoon. It's still coming. Okay, well, please don't wash away with the typhoon. We hope to have you here tomorrow and going forward.
Sounds
good.
But
any last thoughts from you before we head on out?
Yeah, well, Nick T, if you're listening, you might fall asleep because I'm about to talk for a couple minutes. So just keep that in mind. But Nick T, you have been a little bit offensive, man. So I'm going to call you out because that's what we do here. No need to go people about how they speak and things like that, man. I'm from Australia. If you don't like it, mute it when I'm on, bro. Don't need to tell me I've got a stuttering issue and things like that. I don't appreciate it. And I know the boys would back me up on that.
When did you stutter?
Well, no, he's sort of saying that I put him to sleep the way I talk.
We lost you for a second there.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me, Joe. Yeah, look, basically, you can read the
comments. We got you back out. We lost you for a second there.
Nick T is someone that super chats, so we respect him, but there's no need to be offensive. So I'm just going to say that, and I always say it in a diplomatic way. I'm just going to also call out the fact that a cyclone is coming to where I live, and it's about a day away, they say, from landfall. Possibly the biggest weather event here in 70 to 100 years. So, Nick T, you said I was stuttering, bro. Don't go there. Everyone else said that in the chat too, man. It's cool, Nick. You're a good dude. Like I said, Joe really respects you. So if he respects you, I respect you. But you're going to get called out. You've done it to me before, man, and you know it. And that's it. Move on. But to all the Australians that are going through the cyclone in the next few days, wish you all the best. Make sure
He said he stuttered.
He implied I stuttered, Joe. It's absolutely fine. Other people called him out on that. That's cool, man. I'm going to stick up for myself every day of the week too. But long story short, man, happy days. Where the Lakers team go, well, in reality, thanks, Sharon. Hell yeah, Sharon. Sharon sometimes can be a guy or girl, so let's hope you're a girl at this point, and you're welcome to Australia. But yeah, man, I just can't wait for the next game. Obviously against the Knicks, I love beating the Knicks, and LeBron loves beating them too. So I'm all down for that. And then we'll see. Hopefully I can be on. They're talking about losing power and things like that. So shout out to Jeremy, who does live very close, and I know he has had some significant personal issues lately. So I hope this doesn't affect him too badly. But man, can't wait for the game on Friday, Gerald, and to be back with you guys. All right, Nick T, I'll stand corrected, bro. If you did say that, that's all good. Let's move on. As I said, you're a good contributor, but I've noticed some trolling with you, and that's it, bro. All good. Lakers Friday, I'll be here, pending weather. Shout out to Joe and Gerald for having me on, Sean and John for being on earlier too.
Absolutely. Those two guys as well. But please be safe. You, Jeremy, everybody in Australia that will be affected by the cyclone. But I could just see Nick T traveling to Australia and you for the day being a customs agent right there as he flies and lands in Australia, and you revoking his passport and sending him right back.
I'm a pretty nice guy. I can forgive and forget, and I'm sure he can too. But yeah, don't come down.
So is Sharon a male or female?
Sharon,
I think female.
Sharon, are you a male or female?
Yes.
Because sometimes I know there's who was it? Carrie, Kari. That I remember. I asked him because he was using his wife's login.
Female.
Okay, good. Well, the reason why I'm asking is I don't want to say her or him if you're not, so we know it's a her now. Good. Just making sure.
The same thing to Natalia. Oh, it's great to have the ladies here as well. But speaking of the ladies and the ladies' man, outside of Mark, aka Xbox, our own Chris Hemsworth, Joe, great to have you here again. A big shout out again to John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, and of course the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Xbox, again, be safe. But Joe, any last thoughts before we head on out?
Usually it's a no, but my last thoughts are still in amazement at where the Lakers are right now. And I find myself during the day, it's amazing what sports will do to your psyche. I mean, I don't have depression or I'm not sad during the day. I'm a pretty happy guy in general, no matter what's going on in sports, but it does enhance it does enhance the life. It enhances the excitement of a 7:30 game against the New Orleans Pelicans. There was a minute there where I was struggling, guys. Back in December, I was just like, not so much not hanging out and talking sports. That's always fun, but watching the game and having that pit in your stomach where you're like, it's just
well,
like,
you remember, Joe. Well, you remember, and with the play-in last year, Zion was a force, and until he got hurt, there was a real chance that they could have upset. And look how it's gone since then.
Yeah, and Zion, my God, Zion, what the hell took you so long, dude? This could have been your league a little bit, maybe not all the way, but this should have been. You should be a perennial MVP. So I'm sitting there watching him play today. I rarely get a chance to see him play. I'm just not watching enough New Orleans Pelican games. But when I do watch him play, and especially the last few months. I was saying he's kind of a Charles Barkley with hops. I don't know if that's true either. He doesn't really play like Charles Barkley. I think I compared him to Charles because he's a big guy who's very athletic.
Mm.
I don't think we've ever probably seen a player this big move like that.
Yeah.
It's not like LeBron. LeBron is a sleek. He's like a LeBron in a lot of ways is like a souped up. What's a good example here? I don't even know. What's a large vehicle that's fast? Would it be a Tesla? I don't know. But LeBron is like a really fast big car. Zion is just a big, just bulldozer that can jump. You can't. He's just bouncy. I mean, the guy is just unreal. How you can't really get a gauge on where he is, how he is. Oh my God! If he had a true point guard that was on the team that could distribute the ball to him, oh my God, that guy he'd probably be winning MVPs left and right. I don't know what this future holds for Zion. I don't know if his lifestyle is still what's dominant in his mind, but if he could just be, that's it. That's probably a good comparison there, young advocate. He still doesn't play like Sean Kemp, but that would probably be a better comparison than Barkley because of his freakish vertical and just the way he moves in and around the paint. As a basketball fan, I would like to. Shaq could be sort of there, but Shaq was.
Even young Shaq, what didn't remind me of this, man?
Shaq is like, man, when Shaq wanted to dunk on you, he came from like the other side of the court. Whereas Zion moves, he's kind of like a boxer. He zigzags, boom, 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 and then boom.
Yeah.
Like he did tonight with that facial on Jemison. If he can manage to love basketball for the next 5 to 8 years, there's a chance he could be great. I just don't know if it's going to be in New Orleans, though. And I don't know if he's going to want to put in the work either. I just don't know. But as far as when he is on, he could be a top 5 player in this league without a doubt. He is that good. And it's nice. It's nice to see him do well. I want him to do well. And when him coming out of Duke, he had this personality that I thought would translate real well as far as wanting to be great, wanting to be that guy. But so far, he's not there, but he's showing a little bit of a glimpse of that and staying a little bit more consistent than usual. And with that, to put a button on this, when you can enjoy a game like this on a Tuesday, at least it's Tuesday here, and it's the New Orleans Pelicans, that says a lot about how exciting the team is. That's how you know. I used to say this about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, no matter if they were playing a January game against Toronto, if they were playing a 4:00 game in Milwaukee, you wanted to watch those games because you just never knew what that guy was going to do. Even when they weren't going to be competitive for a title, that's the kind of excitement he brought to the Lakers, and it's what built his legend in a lot of ways. Right now, we have that feeling again, and it's a beautiful thing. And it looks like LeBron and Luka and the whole team has really, really bought into that and know that, hey, guys, we keep doing what we're doing here. There's a really good shot of winning this thing. And that is just amazing to think about.
Once again, it is the Lakers winning 136-115. I truly appreciate everyone staying here and hanging out with us. Again, let's try and keep some type of civility in the chat. Man, we're doing this for you. We're doing this. We could go ahead and provide a community. We're not getting paid Mr. Beast money for doing this. So please, guys, if you just have some patience with us, with our opinions or the way we talk, the way we speak, whatever. I'd be greatly appreciated, because then we give it right back to you. Because if you start keyboard warring us,
you gotta. It's
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta say this too because it's important to say.
Look, I was just gonna say, if they come at us, this is one of the few channels where we go back at them.
Right. That is true. However, when you're winning, when you have the players that the Lakers have and they're performing the way they are, if you're not going to listen, and this goes for everything in real life too, if I keep having to tell you what's going on and it's true, we're going to be wrong. No one is 100% right. But this should not have ever been an argument. This part should have never been an argument about what they did February 1st. And if you're not going to listen, you're not going to listen to the fact that this was as big of a change as you're probably ever going to see in the NBA again, at least for our near future stuff. Because they're going to write books about this trade one day. They're going to write books about how it changed an entire city, let alone a franchise. You are not to be discussed with again. At some point, I'm just going to let you talk. And this goes with, again, in real life. Like, if I keep telling you, look, if you keep doing this, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And you keep getting yourself in trouble because you have a vice, you can't control yourself, whatever. Empathy is an interesting guilt trip that society throws your way. Oh, you're supposed to care about this and you're supposed to care about that, when it doesn't make any sense. Well, if I'm going to care for this, what's the calamity in it? You know, if I allow this to happen now, resources are going to go this way. Is it fair for the people who are going to suffer over here, whom I know or have put in to this thing, right? If you're not going to listen to logic, at some point logic always shows up in any discussion, then I got nothing for you. And I'm not going to really pay attention to what you're saying anymore. I'm going to ignore you. And that's very hard for a lot of people to do, because people get into their own feelings. They start the empathy thing, or the defensive thing starts to rear its head. This is the part, and I've said it 100 times because I think it's important to understand it. And most people who say it too usually full of shit. But I think you all know I'm not a liar in this. I really don't give a shit. I really don't. It's a minimal, like, all this garbage doesn't mean anything in the end. It's supposed to be fun. Sometimes banter works, sometimes it doesn't. And right now, you all should be excited. You should be excited. If you want to talk shit, you should be talking shit to the opponent. You should be talking shit to the people who have dogged the Lakers. See, even though we dogged the Lakers, we at least still have one thing, G and Mark. We still watched. We still kept watching. We still kept, and we were reluctant. We were pissed off. Like, they got us by the balls. They got us by the balls, and we're pissed off, and they're not doing what we want them to do. But in the end, we still kept watching. We still spent 4 hours, 5 hours, sometimes 9 hours during the trade deadline and all these things, still here supporting the team. So if you look at it from a logical standpoint, we never stopped supporting the team, even when it was hitting the shitter. So
that's what makes this so much better. Now.
It is. We didn't miss a damn game, let alone, not even a preseason game. So we have that in our pocket. No one could come in here and say, oh, you guys jumped the wagon and all this crap. No. See, I haven't heard any of that, by the way, because everyone knows. It's all on tape. So now that we've been rewarded by those we criticized, now we've at least I have admitted that I ate shit, and I'm going to continue to do that. I have to eat these damn olives now, which might as well be shit to me. And it's now the benefit of those things. Let's enjoy it. If you want to talk shit to Oklahoma City, and do it now. Don't do it later. Do it now. Oklahoma City, Boston, Cleveland, because it's very likely that should the Lakers make a run, they're going to face these guys in a couple of these series. So enjoy it, and do your thing against the opponent, not your own people.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Ralph D, how did Bronny do the last 2 points, Ralph? I know there's actually articles that'll come up tonight and tomorrow, Ralph, that from like USA Today, Bleacher Report, other places that'll say, how did Bronny do today? Find out. And you have to read the article. Yeah, to go ahead as far as that's concerned. But yeah, he 2 points.
Oh, Bronny came on today.
Yeah.
My bad.
What monkey movie?
The Monkey. There's a movie called The Monkey. It came out about 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that about a monkey?
It's about a cursed monkey. It's following this. It's the lead role is played by the same actor for two roles, him and his brother. It's the same actor playing these 2 different roles. It's about a family, this monkey, a toy monkey. It's a family curse, and everything around it, as far as becomes this whole horrific thing where everybody dies that gets near this monkey thing. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Young Advocate. They're going to have a poll on LakersBall.com on how many olives I should eat. So as soon as they give me the number, we'll definitely broadcast that for a few days so we can commiserate.
All right. And on that note, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Once again, Xbox, stay safe, my friend. You, Jeremy,
Thanks, boys.
Everyone that's going to be
Come
affected.
on, a cyclone can't take away money, Mark. Come on.
Hell no.
No way.
I'll be here no matter what.
Yeah. Come on.
His last words.
Yes, no, Joe's
wow.
back.
She looks good. Oh, wow. Yeah. As he goes,
See ya.
She flies by. Whoa, yeah, that's good.
Shouldn't I jump into the water?
She's not wearing a top.
all right. Thank you, Roger.
All good fun. We respect women.
I would hope so. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Join us again tomorrow for more fun and hijinks. We'll be here on the days. We're here over 300 days. So you got to go ahead and join us. We'll be back. And then, of course, on Thursday, playback again, playback.tv/Lakers fast break for the Lakers and Knicks. But for Xbox, John Costa, Sean Grice, Joe Soro, it's me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. Truly appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, as always, for fun and to give you an update what's going on with the Lakers, as always, right here on the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.